Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed the last community session that was about 3-bet pots out of position, or when you just watched the latest video up here in that section a little later, that's obviously totally fine as well. I just wanted to add a little something just regarding your feedback. It feels like a little something is still missing. And first I want to explain to you how I see the 3-bet pot out of position there, the way we talked about it. For me, this is something where it's not too much about exploiting so far. So it's focusing on ourselves. It's the start of the hand pretty much on the flop. And then once we talk about the turn and the rivers, we will take exploitation or exploitative moves way more into account. For now, it's important for me that you know the cornerstones of your range, that you know how to build it in a logical way, that you know what would be right in theory by looking up solvers. And anyways, I still want to put that little add-on where I just give you my impression. What are the natural leaks? What are people doing wrong? What I want you to not do wrong? Or what can you exploit a little on the flop already, or at least think about it to maximize your EV in those spots. So let's start with the first one, and that's just the mistakes people are doing when they are the caller. So we stay in the situation that we were 3-betting and we make up our mind now. And this is now my personal experience that will change over time, that can change over time. But it's kind of a natural thing, I think. The people as caller definitely do overfold versus small c-bets. The power of position is not something that people realize, or how small bets can be and only how rarely they need to win the hand in the end. It's like a weird feeling. It's just facing a bet, whether it's half pot or a quarter pot. The first instinct doesn't make a big difference. So this is something that we can use for using small c-bets to really fold out trash. And be sure people are overfolding their random overcards more often than they should. They are not floating all the random backdoors that they should. Those hands that they turn into bluffs later. But that's another topic. And a second thing I see there is that their stabbing strategy is mainly wrong. There are some boards where we are checking very, very strong. And people just play their hand strength a little and have their bluffs instead of, well, trapping a little something for the turn. That would be, when we talk about the delayed game tree, something we can exploit. But people, when check do, mainly think about the check calling tree. So I'm personally a big fan of check raising more than we should. Not saying that I'm value or bluff heavy. Just that I choose that line more often instead of betting big or whatever. And I want to make use of that mistake that people are doing. That they are stabbing always their weak middle-ish part to attack our ace-king or something like that. And then they are lost when they get check raised. So they are either not stabbing enough or just stabbing the wrong hands. Let's get to the second part where we actually turn things around. And now we say, villain is the 3-better. What are people doing wrong when they were the 3-better and now make a decision on the flop? So this is exactly what I want, that you don't do those mistakes. So the first thing is, I call it the value syndrome. It's just the logical thing for people that when they have a strong hand, they want to bet. Maybe if they block everything and have the strongest super nuts, they will check sometimes, like aces on ace-7 deuce or something. But mainly strong hand means bet. Not really looking at the board, even though it might be good for us in position. And they should check the majority of their range. It's just the natural thing that people are betting. Board is 7-6-5, people bet their pocket kings. So what does that lead to? That first of all, betting ranges on boards that favor the in-position player are rather strong. And checking ranges are weaker than they should. So now it's a different spot when we talk about calling a 3-bet and then facing a check, but I definitely want to be a little lighter when it comes to stabbing there, because, well, people's ranges are in a natural way, not like they should look like. That's the first big thing that I've experienced over, well, probably millions of hands. And now the second thing, I call it action triggered by hand, which just means, okay, someone just looked at their hand and then does what feels best with that hand. It's not like they were building a wardrobe, giving themselves multiple options to then think, okay, this hand fits into this box in the best way. No, it's really look at their hand, do one thing. What does that lead to? I will give you a couple of examples. The board is 9-5 deuce. People bet pot and we have to make a decision. I'm saying that the field is freaking value heavy with that line, because they do that when they see or when they have pocket tens and pocket jacks, maximum protection, get the money in now. But what are they missing? Well, we called it the add-on bluffs, those that fit. They are not like, the bluffs are never that natural that, well, Jack 10 feels good to bet big as well. But, well, before they think about that, they probably click on their half pot hotkey to bet that sizing. It's just a very, very common thing that those lines that they take with specific value hands, that they are lacking bluffs. Same thing could be pocket queens and 7-5 with a flush draw. Pocket kings on a queen high board that is kind of drawy. Just the very natural hands that people want to get in the middle and want to protect. We talked about that in the community coaching a lot, I guess, that people want to protect and make sure to get in now. In the coaching, we talked as well about those potential add-ons. What should be our bluffs? That's the way, way, way tougher part. And it's just a natural thing, especially when we play multiple tables, to forget about those. And when we have, say, queen 7-5 with a diamond flush draw, to take an ace 10 or ace jack offsuit with a diamond ace and bet it big this time instead of just going for a kind of standard small c-bet, it's something that takes time to think through. Right? And often people just click on their standard c-bet before they really think things through. So the exploit would be, first of all, I don't want you to do that. I want you to have bluffs at all times and not be crazy value heavy, but at the same time, we can overfold versus those things. Maybe you can look through your database and just check out what you experienced in those spots. And that's already the wrap up for that little add-on, just talking about my impression of the population, what people are doing wrong, what is the natural thing to be done wrong. And now I will actually jump into a session right now and we'll review that a little later and make a video for you, just looking at all the 3-bet pots that I played out of position in that session. So live play doesn't make too much sense. That spot doesn't come up often enough, but I will play for an hour and we will get some hands and then check it out. Hopefully the video is either here right now already or it will come very soon, and then you can watch me just putting you through my decision making in those 3-bet pot spots. And yeah, until then, good luck at the tables and don't forget your bluffs in the 3-bet pots.